What's good, you guys, and welcome back to another episode. On today's show, we have special guest Montell.
What's up, guys?
And he's going to be telling us all about his fitness journey, so let's dive right in. All right, what's good, Montell?
What's good, James?
Thank you for coming on. And I met Montell through Donnie. If you guys are tuned into the DJ's Take, Donnie, I met him through you and stole him off of him.
Stolen is true.
Yes, thanks for coming on. And I wanted to have you on because you kind of have an opposite story than me. I started out 440 pounds and lost weight. And you started out a pretty scrawny guy, right?
I'm skinny, Slim Jim.
Slim Jim. So what was your diet and exercise routine before you started this whole fitness journey?
Well, before I started with fitness, I was always a athlete throughout my whole life. Mm-hmm. I began playing basketball. That was like my very first love. And then from basketball, when I got into high school, I hurt my back in high school, and then I started to make the transition into running track and field. And I only got into track and field just because I wanted to get in shape. And then from track and field, I walked on it at college, at Cal U. And a little bit after I left college to take care of my mom, I would say maybe 2021 it was. Yeah, going into winter break, that's when I started really training. Mm-hmm. And I would say the diet before then, it was more of I was eating McDonald's, here and there, adding a little sweets in the ice cream. But once I locked in after winter break and a little bit after COVID, that's when I started to cut out red meat. I don't eat no red meat anymore. Uh-huh. I added more rice, carbs with bread. I actually cut out bread. So I have more of a pescatarian diet now, where before I was a carnivore. I'd eat red meat, fast foods, McDonald's, and the whole 9 yards. And it's definitely adjusted and changed a lot, and it's been helping me a lot too. I feel more energetic, more just well-rounded, and I'm balanced too.
What made you do that transition from eating the McDonald's and living that lifestyle?
More of research. I found out with African Americans, we can't digest certain foods that other races and other ethnic backgrounds can't have. So we're more of for me, natural foods, herbs, food that's not GMO and doesn't have all the different diseases. I found out that red meat has diseases that can cause cancer with your cardiovascular system and can cause cancer with your gut. So that's really pretty much why, just from deep research, from just why I cut out all them different foods. And fast food is disgusting, especially because I worked at McDonald's. No offense to McDonald's, but when you work in them environments and you see how the food is processed and made, and I was the one that was making it, it really just shifted my mind. I got to cut this out, man.
Have you noticed any differences with how you feel when you cut those things out from the McDonald's to eating how you eat now?
Absolutely. I would say mentally more locked in, more focused, have better concentration. My sleep has been better too. I also added in lion's mane and sea moss, which is a type of mushroom. Mm-hmm. I haven't yet to do the research on what it actually does, but
I've heard a lot about sea moss.
Yeah, sea moss helps a lot
for men.
But just overall mentally better, physically have more energy, like I said, and just being able to get things done. Before, I could tell with eating some of the fast food, I'd get lazy, complacent. Mm-hmm. So I would say with the diet I have now, I'm more locked in, more focused. I'm able to get my tasks done. I'm able to move forward and train even better too.
Speaking of training, so what was your workout regimen before and what is it now?
College, when I left after 2 years, I would say it was more so, still had a little bit of fast food, carnivorism, and I would say the training was more of speed endurance, speed resistance, a lot of explosive training in the weight room, more of not more about hypertrophy. But then the difference now is more of I do a thing called hybrid training. So I do cardio, calisthenics. I also do bodybuilding and powerlifting movements. So I'll do squats, deadlift, bench for strength. For bodybuilding movements, I'm more focused on the concentration and the contraction of the movement throughout the whole thing. And with the running and everything, that's more of the cardio and to stay on top of my endurance and to make sure I'm in tip-top shape. Because I would say my standard this year is to be in elite shape. Cover all the boxes and checks, so that way I'm being able to be better.
So what is your goal from when you started this? Were you wanting to get a bodybuilder aesthetic, active muscle movement? Like, what is your goal from when you first started to now?
When I first started, honestly, the drive was more of like I was dealing with a lot of things, like a lot of life, from relationships ending to my cousin passing. So it was, the motivation was more of like, okay, I need an outlet. I need a healthy outlet, you know. And then as I've been able to cope and as I've been able to move forward with my life, I found the drive of just, okay, now my goal really is to be just aesthetic and lean. I was 140 when I started. I got to 170 in 11 months. And the main drive really during that period was, like I said, it was just pain. Life was just moving in all different circles. Didn't know how to maneuver or handle it. And as I came out of that storm, by the grace of God, I really realized, okay, what needed to be the goal. And my goal really was just to train hard, to be in aesthetic shape, to be able to do a little bit of everything. You know, not just one thing. Because you see people in the gym, they're just people that are some meatheads. There's people there that are like newbies. There's novice. You have people that's just great with the running. My whole goal is to be able to be great at everything and to be able to check all the boxes.
So you said you went from 140 to 175 in 11 months.
Yep.
How did you work on that weight gain? Because normally I'm talking about the weight loss aspect. So what do you need to do to get the gain?
I would
in a
say
healthy way.
In a healthy way, I would say for me, what helped is I ate 4 meals a day. Like, I recommend for protein, eggs, fish, so like salmon, tilapia. I'm giving you all those secret recipe here. What else? Peanut butter. If you want the carbs, like rice, jasmine rice preferably, or brown rice. The greens, so like green beans, cucumbers, spinach, and just have fruit, because fruit, a lot of people don't know this, fruit has all 9 of the essential amino acids. That's literally just my diet. I just gave you the secret recipe. Now take that diet. Diet is 90% of the work. Then the other 10% is your discipline and commitment and your consistency. I preach this a lot because a lot of people can see the result and will think it was easy for me because of the genes I have, or, oh, you've been lean your whole life. You don't understand how hard it is to gain weight and gain muscle at the same time. So I would say what I did in the gym is I focused on strength training, so like 5 to 8 reps. If I wanted to focus on muscle endurance, so to build the muscle so that way it can last longer during the training and last longer for fatigue, I would say aim for 10 to 15 reps preferably. If you want to get it fast and not have to go through a series of having to really be consistent and say your time schedule is very limited, I would recommend do compound movements, squatting, benching, deadlift, because through there, if you have a busy structure or schedule, you'll be able to hit multiple muscle groups at the same time during your workouts. If you can't go like me 5-6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, and be able to individually break down the muscle groups. So I would say that would be the best way for someone to gain muscle, and just regular your diet, and also give yourself cheat days. Don't be too strict, because at first when I started, I'm like, oh, I got to cut this out. But then I realized you got to treat yourself. Give yourself an incentive. Like through the week, I would train hard for maybe a month straight. And then maybe that first week of the new month, or that's 5th week of my training period or my training block, I would maybe have ice cream on the weekend. Just to give yourself the incentive or working manner of like, okay, your mind will work and like, okay, if I have this goal, what is there something else that I could work towards? So that will also like, okay, bet I can have ice cream after 5 weeks of training hard. Boom. So like that's how I would say I was able to gain the muscle, is through having a strict diet, making sure I'm on top of my training, and being disciplined. Discipline is the most important thing, I would say, for sure. Your diet's 90%, but the other 10% is even more important.
How many calories do you think that you were consuming a day during that time?
4,000 calories. Roughly, I was eating roughly 5. I was actually eating more meals. I was eating like 5 to 6 times a day, 4 meals.
And this isn't like 4,000 calories of like donuts. This is 4,000 of like protein,
like protein, the carbs. Studying the macros. Like I have my Fitness Pal, and like I track all the macros, everything. So definitely, it was very strict, like
strategic. And then, how long were you in the gym per day?
Hour and a half. Like before I started, it was like 2 hours. Mind you, fellas, I was really dealing with the pain at that time. Breakup, all that. So I was in there for like 2 hours.
Nothing's motivating than a breakup.
Nothing. Look, guys, there's nothing more motivating. But now I would say on average like an hour and a half.
Okay. What would you say though? Because you're at an intense level. Like you are killing it. What would you say to someone who's like starting out in the gym, who is, let's say, 5'10", 135, like a string, and they're wanting to begin? What would you say the first things, and they have zero gym knowledge, and you know, they go into because I know a lot of people, they're like, I want to start, but I just have no idea where to start at.
Exactly.
The gym is so intimidating.
Exactly.
So what would you say for them to start?
That's a wonderful question. I would say first things first is have a plan and have a structure. Have like a goal in mind or a standard of what you're going to hit. Then from your goal is you're 135, your goal is to get to 180. Research, go on ChatGPT. How can I gain muscle in a year? Strength training is going to be key. Your diet is going to be the biggest. And just research. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's the one thing I think people get scared of when they first start training is like, don't be afraid to ask people in the gym, how do you do this? What's the correct form? What's the correct technique? You know, what is the best diet? And don't be afraid to try new things in the midst of gaining this muscle and gaining the weight.
Yeah.
Because like for me, what helped me is I did research. I asked my dad, like, hey dad, what did you do? The core foundation I think anybody can do. Push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups. Then from there with the calisthenics, because calisthenics is the very foundation. If you're not able to move your body weight, you're not going to be able to move weight. You're not going to be able to move weight at all. So I would say calisthenics. Have a foundation, have a structure and a plan and a system, and have a goal in mind. Without that goal, you ain't going to have no why. Without a why, you're not going to have a how it's going to get done or what you need to do to get to that. And then I would say from there, you'll be able to add the diet that's best for you. You'll be able to add the training that's best for you because there's no right or wrong way in training. That's another thing. People think that there's this right way or this one way to do something when you can do it multiple ways and it can work for you. So I would say diet, having a plan, structure, and having a goal. Those are the three biggest things. I try to keep it simple for people that's just beginning. Keep it very simple for yourself and you'll be good.
And don't think short term. Like
exactly.
Think long term, and that it's a slow process to it, and it's just a lifestyle that you're living now. Because I think a lot of people put a lot of pressure. Like it'll be like what it is now, April, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be The Rock by 4th of July."
Seriously.
And it's like it's not gonna happen like that, and you don't want it to happen like that because it won't stay. So to slowly build.
Yeah, they want to be Captain America.
Yeah.
They want to be Captain America when summer's approaching.
Yo, hop in that machine and then transform.
Yep.
No, but I think that we're talking aesthetically a lot. What about the mental aspect have you noticed in you from where you were to where you are now? Because I think that's like the biggest transformation that I've experienced.
You just gotta have a want and a desire. Like the mindset is my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing, James. And I'm glad you asked this. Mentally, you have to have a desire to want to change your life. Like you can't do it for your family. You can't do it for your friends. You can't do it if you have a relationship. You have to do it for you. You have to be disciplined. Discipline is doing it when you don't want to do it. Discipline is doing it when you don't want to do it, guys, or women too. Your commitment is key. You have to be able to have a goal and have something that you're pushing towards, and you have to have consistency. Mindset is the biggest thing. If you can't just be motivated. You have to have a desire. You have to have something internally in you that's going to push you forward and for you to be successful in whatever you decide to do with your fitness journey, whether you want to gain weight or lose weight, whether you want to burn off fat or gain muscle, whatever it's going to be. I would say how it changed for me was just being disciplined. I've always been internally motivated, but the discipline changed. Like on the weekends, for example, how it's changed is I do cardio on the weekends. Like I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I go to the gym at 4 and I do cardio for 30 minutes. This is every weekend. I built that routine. So I would say how my mindset's changed is just having that internal motivation and that drive and I put that with just my desire to be great. I've always knew since I was young I was going to be great. So I'm already internally driven and motivated. So I just use, okay, this has to happen. It has to be, like, it has to happen. And I would say with people, when they train, they want the results now. But I don't think people really want to delay. Like, they have to delay certain things. Cutting out the ice cream at first, having to be strict on the diet, having to be strict with your training. And mentally, I'd say I could just go on and on. It's just of how it just changed. Just being more committed, more consistent, and just locking in, because there was times where I didn't want to train. Even when I was in college with track, I didn't want to train. But now it's like I'm addicted to it. So
yeah, to say what you're saying about discipline too, when you are consistent, which is what you said, that'll even make up for days that you're not motivated or you're not disciplined, but you're still consistent. So when you hop back on that train, you will consistently will still build you to your results when discipline or motivation flees, because motivation is fleeing at times,
It is.
So that's awesome. And what you said about like seeing that for yourself, that's what I built this channel for with the New Life, because it's like when you're not where you want to be, how you get to where you want to be is envisioning that new life, envisioning you where you want to be, because that's the only thing that's going to drive. Because like seeing people like us on YouTube and stuff like that, that'll motivate you for a little bit, but nothing's going to set that fire in you like yourself, seeing yourself achieve that. So I agree with that right there. And then lastly, I think we'll just touch on what are you doing with the fitness space, because I've been seeing you out there killing it. So what is your goal with your page, and talk about your page and where they can find you at?
Well, you guys can find me on Instagram at Montell Carlock, and you can find me on YouTube at Montell Carlock as well. With fitness, I would say my main objective is for self-improvement. Self-improvement in all areas. Be better mentally, so like have a better focus, be more disciplined, have a drive, have the concentration in order to be the greatest version of yourself. Physically, be in shape. I cannot say this enough. Be in shape. I'm not saying you got to go hard 6 days a week, but be in shape. So what my goal is with the channel is just to help people self-improve, to help people see the purpose within themselves. Because I have a saying that we was born on purpose, for purpose, with purpose. You have something within you.
I like that. Say that one more time.
On purpose, with purpose, for purpose. So God made us on purpose. He made us with purpose. He gave us gifts and talents and skills to utilize. Mine so happen to be fitness. Yours might happen to be engineering. Yours might happen to be design, whatever it might be. And for purpose, we are only here for a certain period of time in this life. And it's up to us to utilize everything. So I would say my whole thing is to have people see purpose. Like when you watch my channel and watch the videos I take, whether it's my workout videos or just daily motivational videos, or my Instagram or my TikTok, you can follow me on TikTok at Montell Carlock as well. It's to light a fire in you of like, okay, if he could do it, I could do it. If she could do it, I could do it. Okay, if they're just using a camera to start off, okay, I can just use a camera to start off my channel. To basically like no excuse. You have all the resources. It's not going to be on YouTube. It's not going to be on Google. It's not going to be on ChatGPT. You have all the answers and the tools within you. It's just when you watch me, it's like, okay, bet. I can do that, and I can get to it. So with my fitness page, it's more of just giving people purpose. I don't want to just be the coach that shows you my workout programs and the basic nuance of fitness. It's deeper than that. It's like, okay, I'm making you think, like, how can I be better today? How can I take the step forward today? How can I enhance myself to become greater, to become better in the gym, or become better in for my family, or become better for my professional career? That is my main thing, is the self-improvement aspect of just becoming a greater version of yourself.
I love that, man. And like he said, you guys follow him everywhere, because you're definitely inspired me, and like you just have a way of looking at it that's very inspirational about like how you view fitness, and how you like talking about your journey and how you use it as a healthy alternative to doing things negative. When your cousin passed and all that happened, you could have easily just been on the couch eating your way your feelings, or doing what the majority of the world does, but instead you made it inspirational, and I think you're definitely going to inspire other people, man. And I thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys, hit up Montell And if you like this video, give us a like. Again, follow Montell, and I'm sure if he'll let me, I'll drag him back on the channel.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you guys next time.